Hello friends, this is Growl, and in this video I'm going to go over how to gear up in the early weeks of the War Within. I've been seeing a lot of random videos. I click on them, they don't give you the information I want, so I want to make a good video where I go over exactly all the different resources you have, the stuff you should be doing, the stuff that you can do, the stuff that you probably shouldn't do, and so on. I've been getting a lot of questions over my stream, and I can kind of convert these into a video that should help alleviate everybody's concerns. So, you hit level 80, what do? You first want to level up your other characters if you want. There's plenty of time to level up, and this is the greatest time to level up. Everybody's doing dungeons, everybody's out in the open world, there's not really that much important stuff to do. Make sure you level your alts as priority number one. But we don't care about alts, we want to start gearing up your main. So the first thing that you want to do is get your item level in range for heroic dungeons. And that will believe to be around 561. Now, you will be able to walk into those dungeons with a party, I believe, at a lower item level, and you should be fine. But if you want to have a smooth experience and be able to queue, you want to get to at least 561 item level. So you're probably hitting level 80 at around 530 or something. So you kind of got a ways to go. So first, we want to spend some time looking at all the world quests. So there's 3 different things from world quests that we want to look at. Number 1, we want to look at coffer keys and coffer key shards. These will be used for delves. Anytime you see a world quest with coffer keys or coffer key shards, you want to be doing that. And I don't have them on my map because I've been sweating out and doing all the stuff, but they will be little icons that you can mouse over. There's also lots of good add-ons that you can use to track world quests. Lastly, you want to look for item level upgrades. There'll be tons of very easy freebie world quests where you can get something like 564 or 571 item and just make a huge upgrade for one of your slots. Then to gear up, honestly, the best items right now, silly enough, are just like greens that you can upgrade, whether they're from just like normal dungeons or from the open world or from rares. It doesn't really matter how you get them. They're very, very easy to get. Also, what you can do is simply just buy them. So I'm going to pull up the auction house here real quick. If I go to, shoulders, mail, you can see that there's a ton of variety of items for not very expensive. There's multiple 561 items for 5,000 gold. Let's say you've gotten, so there's 14 slots. Let's say, 4 or 5 of them you've gotten from world quests or drops. You can spend under 50k and get fully decked out with all of this available stuff. And again, if you are low on cash, this is a great gold farm. Just go out and do stuff, kill rares, farm dungeons, sell these BOEs. I mean, these are overpriced. These will be hundreds of gold and not thousands pretty soon. And this is just a very, very easy way to level up depending on how much gold you have, but it's also a great way to make gold. Lastly, there are trinkets available. If you look up Darkmoon in the auction house, uh-oh, are they gone? Let's look at, oh no. Yeah, so they're very, very, very cheap. If you're totally broke, these ones are like literally under 1,000 gold. The slightly better ones are like 5,000 gold, and these are 577 item level trinkets. These are super, super good, and they will, well, for their item level, for how expensive they are, so that's like a no-brainer buy if you're trying to get into Heroic Week. Lastly, if you are, close, you can spend your Valor Stones. If you go to this building right here, talk to this guy. Any item you can upgrade up to 580 if it's on any track for only Valor Stones. And this currency might seem a little bit hard to get, but this will be available through just dungeon spamming. You're going to be spamming a lot of heroic dungeons to get gear, and you're going to be farming up a lot of Valor Stones, so don't worry about spending those. You shouldn't waste them, but don't worry about spending them. All right, so we've reached 561, and now we're ready for heroic dungeons. The expansion is released. What do we do? First off, we want to do the weekly event in each zone. So you've probably seen there's this theater in here. There's this like machines icon that doesn't do anything. There's quests. These are weekly event quests that happen. You can do them once a week for rewards in every single zone. They drop a pretty good piece, I think in the range of like 580-ish or 570. And also, I believe they drop a delve key for the first time that you do it in each week. They are not available for early access week. So once the game is officially released, you can start doing these. These are pretty good items, and you want to go ahead and knock those out right away. Then, now we're already in range of heroic, maybe even a little bit stronger. Now it's time to spam heroic dungeons, and you should be able to use the dungeon finder and just queue for them if you're a solo player. Ideally, you play with people who are your similar armor type, and then you can trade stuff together, but who has friends? So now you can get a bunch of 567 gear from the dungeons. Now we go back to our upgrader friend here with our 567 gear, and again we're getting these Valor Stones, and we can send these Valor Stones to upgrade up to 580 on every piece. So if you spam enough heroic dungeons, you'll be able to get every single slot at 580 and potentially higher with those other weekly rewards or any sort of like random lucky stuff that you get. All right. So now we're 580 in every slot. And again, this might seem like a lot, but we'll have 2 weeks. You'll have plenty of time to do this on multiple characters. Next, what you want to do, if you want, now this is fine. 580 in every slot, you'll be able to wait and just chill and progress into later stuff. I wouldn't even worry about it if you don't want to. However, a lot of people want to keep going higher. So the next thing that you want to do, you can get... This is where we start to go into grind territory, so already warning you, be careful. So at this point, this is where we're going into being a Sweatlord territory once we hit 580. So next, there are very small upgrades if you visit the quartermaster of each faction. There's an upgrade that you can get for, you need to be renowned 7 or 8 of that faction, and you can buy one 584 purple item. I believe there's a trinket, a neck, a shoulder, a chest, maybe. I don't remember exactly. I know there's a chest and a shoulder because I have them already. Now these cost these resonance crystals as well. This can be a little bit of a tough resource, but ultimately you can just farm these from the open world or world quests. You can also do alts. Alts, you can transfer them across your warband, so you can just repeat the same world quests over and over again on your alts to get them. Or also, if you want to just play one character, you can farm them in delves. They're like in the delve chests or whatever. So if you just want to do one character, maybe you want to level up your brand, you can get them from leveling that up. And so these are very, very slight upgrades. You can see that these are 584 instead of 580. However, they are veteran track instead of being adventure track. So you'll be able to upgrade them higher if you need to. So there's 4 different items. So, okay, now you have 580 in every slot. You have 584 in some slots. What do we do next? So now we can actually send some of our crests. So this lowest level of crests that we have, this one right here, Weathered Harbinger crest. These are not very useful. This is only used to upgrade your gear to like this level right here. What is it? It's only used to upgrade your gear to 593. And when Heroic Week comes out, when Mythic 0 is unlocked, you will get 593 gear baseline. So these crests right here are basically only used for this stage of gearing. So once you either decide to farm out the Renown or you just give up and don't do that, you can start sending your weathered crests. I mean, I think the highest value almost always is going to be your weapon, and then like whatever big pieces like chest or helm, but usually weapon is what you want to upgrade if you happen to have the ability to upgrade that. And then you can send those crests and you can get to in the high 580s. And that's it. Now you are basically done with gearing. There's some very small other things you can do. So first I want to answer the question about delve keys. So I told you not to spend those and save those. The reason is you can use these on bountiful delves. And what they are is at the end of a bountiful delve, there's a big purple chest that you use one to open up, and it gives you a gear item that is tied to what level the delve is. Now, right now, in the first couple weeks, you can only do level 3 or lower. Therefore, the item that you get is pretty weak. So if you save these keys until the 3rd week, when all the delves open up, you can do level 8 delves, which is the highest reward, and you can get item level 603 gear. And that's what you're going to be doing during Heroic Week, is spending all of your keys. You can do bountiful delves without spending your key. Let's say you have a quest for this one and you see it's bountiful and you're like, oh no, I don't want to waste my key. You can simply just do the delve, complete it, and just not open the chest at the end. It's very straightforward. Unless you're autopiloting, you're not going to accidentally spend your key. You can do one of these delves in each zone every single day. So basically there's one delve here, there's one delve in Ringing Deeps that's bountiful. So you'll be able to spend 4 bountiful delve keys per day. So ideally you'd like to have 20 plus of these keys. Very likely you won't have that many. You'll probably be like below 20. So you want to save as many as possible and then use as many as possible per day. Now, this is not really super important. This is min-maxing items. If you happen, if you play around and use one, or if you miss a key or whatever, it's not the end of the deal. It's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. It's not super important. Don't worry about it if you're short 1 key, 2 keys. No one will know. No one will ever know or care. So lastly, let's say you want to really be a big nerd. And you're just like, all right, I'm 580 in every slot. I've maxed out on all my crests. I've maxed out on my Valorstones. Like, I'm sweating. I still want to get stronger. I want to be the greatest item level evoker there ever was. So what you want to do is basically farm Renown. So in these Renown tracks, I advise you to get to like rank 7 or rank 8, and you can simply do this by doing the main story and doing side quests and world quests. There's not a big rush to do those at all. You can kind of just, chill and knock stuff out and get them. However, there are also some rewards very deep into the tracks. So for example, at Renown 17, you can get an additional coffer key. Also, there are other items on the Renown vendors as well. I think there's one more purple item per Renown vendor. So if you go to this guy, you look here, you can also get a 597 item, right? But this is rank 16 Renown. This is very, very high, and this is a huge grind to get to one of these items. So what you can do to grind Renown, if you really want to, number 1, you can buy contracts. What a contract does is that every time you do a world quest, it gives you rep for that specific faction. So for example, if you go to here, and then you type in Hollowfall, there are contracts for getting rep for Hollowfall. Now you see this one is 200,000 gold, and it gives you only 15 reputation per world quest. These prices will go down dramatically, but you see what you're getting into if you're entering this territory of being a really big sweaty nerd. Also, to get reputation, you simply just do all of the side quests in the zone. You do the rares. You just fly around and look for rare mobs to kill. You do this event whenever it comes up, spreading the light. So there's one thing now for Renown farming. In Dragonflight, people found specific ways to farm Renown, and just like basically a repeatable way that you can just do it over and over and over again. So for example, one of the zones, you could just kill these mobs, then you would slowly get this drop that you could turn in for Renown, and it basically took like 8 hours, and you could max out a Renown that way. There may be things like that that are discovered in the next coming weeks. We don't have any of them right now. Maybe people are keeping them secret, who knows. If those do happen to be the case, again, this is still just extremely, this is, you're playing 8 hours to get one piece slightly high level upgrade. So, be warned about doing this stuff. But if you see people farming Renown past level 7 or 8, that's them trying to get into the higher levels of the Renown track or whatever. Yeah, so that's it. That's everything that you should be doing in the first 2 weeks. Once things get more clear about Heroic Week and goals there, I will probably make a video about that too. But But I see a lot of people wondering about things, so a few things that I didn't cover, right? Rares. People are talking about rare mobs. Maybe there's certain rares that drop good stuff, but I've found for the most part that rare mobs just drop total crap, and they're almost not worth farming unless you're just like happening to fly by them. It's not like it was in Dragonflight where it was just constantly scaling up item levels and you were getting like 590 equivalent items from rares. That's just not the case. Maybe certain ones, again, so maybe people will come out with a list and figure this out, but no one is doing that right now. Yeah, so anyway, that wraps up everything. Hopefully that answered some of your guys' questions about gearing and what you should be doing at level 80. But ultimately, remember that this is all just like, you know, stuff that you want to min-max. Yeah. I will, also, I have this like interface stuff on my screen. Honestly, I just installed this weak aura and I hate it. It's really noisy, but I know people are going to ask, so I will leave this weak aura in the description of the video. But thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful, and happy delving, friends.